Welcome TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn about JSON functions in PySpark. We'll be taking a look at a getJSON object, JSON tuple, and from JSON to JSON, schema of JSON, schema array length, and JSON object keys. So we will be taking a look on all these functions in this video. Here, let's import some important libraries and then start our Spark session by using this code. Now I have this sample data here that has name, age and city, and then what I'm doing here, I'm creating a data frame by using spark.createDataFrame. I'm using this sample data and then I'm providing the name of the column. So this is our JSON data we have here, and this is the name of the column we are using for this JSON data. Now data frame is created, and then what we did, we are going to use the .show function to see the data in that data frame. Let me execute this code and show you the output. And here is my output. You can see that this is our original data frame we just created from the sample data. It has one column called JSON data, and it has a name, Amir, and the age and the city values. Now let's go ahead and take a look on a different JSON function, how to apply on this JSON data. Now here we have a getJSON object, and this function is going to help us to extract the specified JSON object. So let's say if I want to get field name field, then I can get that. So here I'm creating a new data frame, and I'm using the old data frame that we just created and selecting. In select, I'm providing this function getJSON object, and I'm providing the actual column name, that is JSON data, and then what I want to extract. In this case, I would like to extract the field called the name. So remember, right here we have name. That's what I would like to extract. And then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to alias this one as a name column. You can whatever, maybe you say name column, and then you will say df getJSON.show, that is we are displaying the data in that data frame. So if I execute that, now we should have one column that should be name column, and these values are coming from our JSON data for the name. Now that's great, but if you would like to do multiple fields, what you will do in that case, you will be using JSON tuple, and that extract multiple JSON fields. And here I'm creating a new data frame and call the df JSON tuple, and using the old data frame, the original data frame df.select, and here I'm saying JSON tuple. In the JSON tuple, I have to provide the JSON data column, that is our JSON data that we created in our data frame, and now I will provide a name and age. These are the fields I would like to select from my JSON data, and then I'm aliasing them as a name and age, so they are in the same order that you can see that. And then finally I'm printing out this by using show function. So let's execute this code and take a look. Here it is, and you can see that we have extracted a name and age from our JSON data, and now it is in columns. Okay, great. Now we can go ahead and take a look on the next function. It's called the from JSON. Parse JSON string into a struct type column. So in this case, if you have JSON data, we do have JSON data, and we would like to create a struct type column, then you can use this from JSON function. So here I'm creating a schema for my struct type. So I'm saying JSON schema struct type, and then I'm saying struct field name, age and city. Name is in string, age is integer, and city is a string. So I have defined the schema for my struct type, and then I'm going to use this function. So here we are creating a new data frame called df from JSON, and we are using our original data frame df underscore JSON select, then applying this function from JSON on the column JSON data column, and then I'm providing the schema I just created for my struct type right here. Okay, so this schema we are providing against this JSON data. So now we call this alias as a parse JSON. Now that's going to create a new column for us, and it's going to have struct type data that it will extract from here by depending upon the schema of that we just created on top. And here I'm printing out df from JSON data frame by using show function. So I'm going to go ahead and execute, and you will see that output. So here is our parse JSON string into the struct type. Output is available, and you can see that we have name and age and city. So now this is a struct type. This is not JSON and the way we had JSON data. Now we have extracted the values and created the struct type from by using a from JSON function here. Now let's go ahead and take a look on the next function, and it's called toJSON. Convert a column containing a struct type or map type to the JSON string. So here we already have created this struct type that called parse JSON, right? And then what we are going to do, we are going to convert back to the JSON. So here I'm creating a new data frame called df2JSON, then using this data frame that we just created and created this column that is a struct type, and then here I'm applying select on it, and then saying toJSON parse JSON. So that's a struct type column that we just created, and I showed you the values, and then I said okay, alias as JSON string, and then this data frame will be created, and now we are printing that data frame by using a show command. So if I execute now, what's going to happen, the struct type, remember that we had that name and the age and city, that is converted to this JSON string. So I had some issue with the schema of JSON function implementation, and I just changed the code. So you might see in the, like when I was scrolling up and down, you would see different code here for schema of JSON, but I have fixed that now, and this is what it is going to do. So schema of JSON returns the schema of a JSON data, and here what I'm doing to create this example, I'm creating a data frame spark.range. So this is going to be one column, one row data frame that we are just creating. So once we create that, I would like to see df.select, and then I'm applying schema of JSON, and here I'm providing a constant value for our JSON data. So here we have lit, that means constant, and then mean we have name, and name is Alice, and age is 30, and then we called it alias as a schema, and then I'm showing right here. So this is going to get us a schema for this JSON data that we have right here. So this was just a create one row, so I could implement this part to this data frame. Otherwise I don't have a way to implement this function anywhere. And then what I'm going to do, if I will execute this one, I'm going to go ahead and execute, and you are going to see the schema for name and age. So for name it is saying it is string, and for the age it is saying it is a big integer. Now if some of the columns maybe or values they don't have double quotes around it, that's possible. In this case if you see right there in my second example, I don't have double quotes around name, and then I don't have double quotes around the age. In this case we are using some options here. Allow unquoted field name is equal to true. That's what you will be using in case your data looks like this. And here I'm saying df data frame that we just created right here, and then select and the schema of JSON, and this is the data we are providing right here. And then inside that for this function we are also providing second parameter, allow unquoted field name is equal to true. That means if they don't have double quotes, that's okay. And then alias as a schema with the options show, and then we're showing the result of that. So let's go ahead and execute this. And this is going to return pretty much the same thing what has returned for the previous, but it took care of the unquoted data as well. So you see that it is age is a big integer, and then name is a string. Now let's apply our schema of JSON function or on our very first data frame that we created right here. So we had this data frame created from this sample data, and the name of the data frame was df.json, and the data in this data frame was JSON data. So we are going to apply this function on it and get the schema for it. Now if you see right there, I'm creating a new data frame and then applying on this data frame, that's our original data frame, and select then applying the function schema of JSON, and I'm applying on this column called the JSON data, and then alias as an inferred schema. And once this code will run, it's going to get us a schema. We have saved it right here, and then we are going to print that. So let's execute now, and we will be able to see the schema for our records. So we see that we have struct and then it's age, city, and name, and you can see it is the same for everything because our records are same and it is applied on each of the value. But let's say if I don't have this city right here in this my data, so I'm gonna just delete this, and then you will see what happened. Now if we execute this again, and then okay, so see right there, now that's what happened. So for first row we had pretty much everything, age, name, and city, so it is showing us the schema for that one. And then for the last one we didn't had the city, we deleted it, so it is showing you age is big integer and name is equal to string. So that's how it is going to be applied on your data. Once you will have a multiple rows here, and then you apply for it, it's going to get you the schema for each of that row. Now let's take a look on the another function called JSON array length, and this returns the length of a JSON array. So here is my sample data. Data is the data underscore array JSON, and it has names column here, and the array is equal to 3 items in that. So we have Amir, Sarah, and John. Then we in the names another array is that has 2 items here, and then we are creating a data frame df array JSON by saying spark.create data frame data array JSON. So that's our sample data we are using right here, and then the name, given the name to this column is called JSON data. Now we can go ahead and print, and I can show you, and then we will go from there. Okay, so you can see right there, here is our data, so JSON data, and then you have names here, and then these are the values for that. And now what happened, we can extract that length. Let's say we want this is 3 items here, there are 2 items, and we would like to know about that, how many items are there. So in this case what's going to happen, now we are creating a new data frame df JSON array length, and I'm applying on this existed data frame that we just created and selecting the values. So here I'm saying JSON array length, I would like to get the length of that JSON array, yes, by using this function inside the get JSON object. So I'm providing which object to get, and in this case this is my data, so this is our column, and then I would like to get the dot names. So there could be more columns available in this data, but I have only one, so that's why I'm just using names here. But if you have multiple, still you will tell which column you would like to use here. So get JSON object is going to select that object, in our case is names, and then it's going to get the array length for that object. Now right here we are gonna print this out by using df JSON array length, and it's going to show us the values. So let's go ahead and execute. So we will be seeing 3 and 2 because this names has 3 values for the first array and then 2 values for the second. So you can see that the name counts is equal to 3 and 2. So that's how you will get the length of the JSON array. Now the final function that we will be using in this video is called a JSON object keys. It will return the keys of a top level JSON object. So we are creating a new data frame called df JSON keys equal to df JSON. That's our very first data frame that we created, and then we are selecting a JSON object keys from the JSON data, and then we alias this as keys, and then we are finally printing that out. So just want to show you the JSON this data there and df JSON. So if you remember, that's the data we are talking about. So this is our sample data that has name, age, and city, and this is our data frame that we created, and we name this column as JSON data. So that's what we are using in this example. So it's going to get the keys, and you see that the keys already we know that is a name, age, and city. So see right there, it's got the name, age, and city. And the last record we deleted the city, and that's why we only got name and age. So let me show you that. So here you can see that we don't have a city right here. That's why our results are for this. It is showing the keys name, age, and city, but here it is showing us only name and age that you can see in the output right there. Okay, I thank you very much for watching this video. I will put this code in the description, and we will take from there.